My video for October the 2nd, 2017 is entitled, Heather Ann Tucci-Jarraf Files Papers for Hearing. Yes, regardless of how much my unapproved Facebook friend Anna von Reitz tries to dismiss her efforts, I still consider what Heather is doing to be an important part of humanity's liberation from the cabal criminals to be essential. I received this from a mutual friend, quote, "These are the documents that Heather recorded today to complete her deadline for filing documents for her hearing on October 18th, 2017, end quote. There are 134 pages in the filing, written, of course, in legalese, which is a distortion of the English language for malevolent intent as part of the criminal operation to take over the entire planet for the sole benefit of charlatans who have betrayed humanity. Some suggest that the betrayal is part of a higher plan that demonstrates the dark side of sentient potential. I wanted to say human potential, but it seems incorrect to call the charlatans human. At best, they are subhuman. Anyway, I am hoping for Heather's and Anna's success in their endeavors to free us all. Indeed, this is something that I have been following closely. I am a Facebook friend with Heather, and I have had a friend request in for probably more than a year, and I've renewed it a few times to try to get Anna von Reitz to approve me as a friend. She's never done that, and she also allows people to post all sorts of stuff on her Facebook page, which irritates me because I go to see what she has to say, not what other people have to say. But in any case, she runs her Facebook page differently than I do. I do not allow people to just in general post on my page as she does. But I want to see both of these things come out with humanity on top. I want to see Heather and others that have been trying to bring down the corporate government, which Anna von Reitz is also doing. They're both trying to bring down the fictional and criminal corporate structure that makes human beings slaves, because they make us corporations, and corporations don't have human rights because they're not considered human. Again, as I've said in many other videos, they consider us dead. They incorporate us, and they trick our parents into giving us over to the state so that the state can take control, and the state itself is a corporate entity. And the United States of America is a corporation registered in Puerto Rico, which of course just got very hard hit by the recent hurricane there. And people in some parts of that nation do not have the ability to even have power turned on. And some of the aid has been stopped when some of the private individuals have tried to provide aid to Puerto Rico. It's been blocked by the official government. And again, the official government of Puerto Rico is run from Washington, D.C., but the headquarters of the corporation is in Puerto Rico. These are all the parts of the scam that has been going on internationally for a very, very long time, as what we call the cabal tries to wield influence. And for the most part, the modern day face of that influence is the House of Rothschild, which is again a fictitious fake Jew house. It's not Rothschilds, it's Bauer is their actual last name, B-A-U-E-R. And they have taken over in the United States, in Great Britain, in France, in Germany, all over. And they are the ones that wage wars for personal profit. And all they want is control. These are sick individuals who have been given some kind of false authority by some demonic element that does not want humanity to be liberated and does not want us to be able to step into our talents, gifts, and abilities that were granted to us originally in creation, but were taken when they turned off our codons and made us less than what we were created to be. There is evidence that some of the human-like races that existed on the planet prior to the current world, that they had greater talents and gifts than we in the modern era of however many millennia that modern era is considered to be, the fifth world, if you will. They had more talents, gifts, and abilities than we do because they've shut off our codons to make us less spiritually connected, less intelligent. All sorts of limitations are placed on us because of the turning off of our codons. Now, why a loving God would find reason to allow that for any kind of good? They say, as I've said in other videos, that it's to accelerate the evolutionary process, or the awakening. I don't buy that, because we can awaken far more by hearing truth than by being fed constant errors and by being told that we are less than we really are. We are not born in sin and shapen in iniquity. We are born with, as I said, with talents, gifts, and abilities that have been turned off in our DNA, and we don't even remember that we have a continuum of experience. We may know that when we're unable to communicate as infants, but then by the time we develop the ability to speak, we forget. We have already forgotten, because we've been programmed by our parents, who were programmed by their parents, going back ad infinitum to the beginning of whatever this era is. And I applaud people like Heather and people like Anna, who are trying to reestablish common sense and natural rights for humanity. I've been part of movements like this for a long time. I've tried to get some of my local friends that used to be part of the Republic movement involved with me locally. They washed their hands with the whole thing. Even those that held political office. I was, of course, the Secretary of State in the Florida Republic, but they were so burned out by what happened to so many of the people that were involved in that, were people losing their homes, like the governor and other people that had lots of stuff thrown against them. And they don't want to be a part of a political movement. I want to be part of a spiritual and political movement, because to me, they're the same thing. You can't be whole and separate things into segments that don't cooperate and communicate with each other. And so I want to be part of the restoration of the U.S. Actual republic. And I want to be part of any movement that restores human rights and takes away the criminality, or hinders the criminality of our court system and of our political system and of our economic system. These things have to be changed, and I work for that. And as I said in the blurb, the people that do this, to me, the demons are subhuman. They're not over humanity, they're under humanity. But somehow they managed to tip the scales and get themselves on top, and they've inverted everything and turned it inside out and upside down. And we need to have a planetary awakening, and I believe it's going to involve a lot of people, but also people that are empowered by God, or whatever you want to call the ultimate creator of all that is from the very beginning. I hope that creator takes a stand and helps us, or otherwise we will fail like others before us have failed. Thank you for listening, and namaste.